This is Mike. First, I want to thank everybody for expressing interest in trying out filter verification. I got tons of responses and I'm absolutely grateful and looking forward to get everybody set up with the free trial. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through how to log in, add your first property, set up the filter, and assign the tenant. Then I'll explain a little bit about what happens next. Very high level, but if you ever want to jump on a Google Meet or a Zoom, I'm more than happy. But once this is done, the system handles all the reminders and verification flow automatically. So first, go over to resproof.com, click on the login in the top right corner, enter your email, password, and then click login. This is going to take you over to the dashboard. The dashboard gives you a real quick overview of your portfolio, compliance, pending verification, just tons of stats here. And I'm not going to go into too much of it right now. I'll let you guys dig into that on your own. For now, let's just kind of go straight into getting you set up with your first property. Click on Properties in the left menu, then click on Add a New Property. This is where you enter your property address, city, state, and zip code. If you want an automated email to go out every time a filter is verified, add the landlord details here, and I'll explain more about that in the next screen. If you're a multi-user account, you can also assign the responsible property manager here. For single filter homes, I recommend just naming it something simple like main return, primary, something like that. If your home has more than one filter, this is where that's going to come into play, and you'll just add the extra filter here. Go ahead and enter your filter size. Once the property details are entered, go ahead and click Create. Okay, you're going to be taken over to the property page. This is where everything for that home lives. You're going to have your details, your property details, filter settings, tenants tab, technician visits, audit log, and a landlord email toggle. This page is where you're always going to end up coming back to when you want to manage the property. Go ahead and click on the filter tab. Let's set up your filter. So next, go ahead and set the change schedule and escalation timing. The change schedule is how often the tenant needs to verify the filter. The escalation timing is how many days they have to respond before you've moved toward a technician action. A couple very important things you need to know here. First, the tenant submission link, it stays active for double the escalation period. So even after a tenant receives an escalation text saying a technician is going to go change it at their expense, they still have the opportunity to comply. So for example, if you set it at 5 days, that link is going to be good for 10 days. So for 5 days, they're going to get a reminder. Day 6, they're going to get notified of a compliance fee and a technician dispatch, but they can still comply day 6 through 10. Hopefully that makes sense. They can still comply those days because that link is good for double the grace period that you set. Also right here, now I'm super big on landlord communication touch points. And this, if you toggle this on, it gives owners an automatic confirmation email every time a filter is changed without you having to manually send any kind of updates. And last, so this baseline photo, it's checked permanently. We might end up removing that, but it's very important. The baseline becomes the reference point for all future AI checks. It gives the system the clean starting point and sets the expectation with the tenant from day one that they need to be taking these pictures. So when I onboard a tenant, I explain that we use filter verification. They'll receive a text today. They should watch that short video that comes in the text and take their first picture. I also explain that they'll receive future reminder texts when it's time to change their filter. And if it does not get done, there is a compliance fee and a service charge. Once that's done, you're going to go ahead and save these filter settings. And now we'll assign a tenant because the cycle doesn't begin until the tenant is assigned. So go to the tenant section, click Add Tenant, then go ahead and enter the lease start and end dates for future reference. Everything is kind of based on the lease start date. You also see right here, this is important, the consent section. This is where you're going to confirm the tenant is given express permission to receive automated SMS messages, choose that correct consent method from the dropdown, then go ahead and click Save. Now this is the point where the property goes live and the text message has already been sent out to the tenant. Okay, so now that the tenant is assigned, filter cycle has begun automatically based on that lease start date in the schedule that you chose. The tenants received a welcome text message. There's the short instructional video showing them how to do this and a link to submit that baseline filter photo. And again, that baseline photo becomes the reference point for all future checks. After that, the system handles the reminder flow automatically. On the scheduled checkup date, they get a reminder to photograph and submit the filter. If they don't submit it, they'll get follow-up reminders that go out. If the escalation period ends with no submission, the system sends an escalation notice to them, and the property manager is notified by email A couple things on what happens afterwards. So if the system confirms that the filter is clean, the tenant's just going to get their thank you confirmation text message. If the system finds the filter is dirty, the tenant's asked to replace and resubmit. If the photo cannot be verified, for example, like poor lighting or bad image, the tenant's asked to go ahead and try again. But if it fails twice in a row, that case gets escalated to you by email and highlighted on the dashboard. You'll see the property marked as escalated to PM. Click on the status. You can review that photo manually and choose pass or failed. If you confirm failed, go ahead and schedule that technician at the tenant's expense. If you choose passed, the cycle's recalculated and starts over from there. The audit log, it gives you a read-only record of those verification events in case you ever need it. It includes date, tenant name, the submitted filter photo, and the final status. And that's basically it. The fastest way for someone to get started is just to set up one property, one filter, one tenant. Once you do that, you'll see exactly how the workflow runs. If you have multiple properties, you can bulk upload. There's this place to input a CSV template. But I still recommend starting with one new lease or one renewal, watching the first baseline flow happen, and then start rolling out your new leases and renewals. Again, if you want help getting your first property live, I'd love to get on a phone call with you. Just use that Calendly link I sent over in the email, and I'm happy to jump on a call with each and every one of you. Thank you very much.